Hey, JamiThatsMe here. Listen, I just came to chat with y'all, just a little piece more, honey. I want to talk about Kandi and Todd and this so unfortunate divorce. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on over there in the Burris Tucker household. And I really hate it for Kandi. I'm sure she's stressing just a little bit while she's out there having to be on Broadway. And she got this man over here in her house, honey. Listen, I'm hoping that things work out how they're supposed to work out for Kandi. Ultimately, in my personal, because I'm rooting for Kandi. Um, Also, when I think about Kandi going through this divorce, I think about Sidora, who recently did an interview not too long ago where she sat down and she was talking about Kelly. Because y'all know her and Kelly, her new co-star or castmate, I'm sorry, over there on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Y'all know Drew and her have pretty much been at it since last year. Not of Drew's fault at all, but of Kelly's for being a follower. And Drew was asked about her coming after Kelly and, taking shots at her. And she's like, well, she always trying to pick with me. So I'm finna show up and pick on her. So I said, I know that's right, Drew, baby. Come to the front, girl. Let me see if No Chaser. Shout out to No Chaser TV. I want to see if they got that clip because they typically have all my Good Housewives clips over here. Let me see if they got it so we can get into just a little piece of what Drew had to say over here to say about Miss Kelly. Let me double check and see if I have that over here. Oh, okay. So it's over here on Angela Yee's page. So let us check out what she said. Let's get into it.
Seen people talking about this is going to be the year of Drew.
Really? I'm like, who said that?
I've seen it on social media.
Really?
And when you posted Kelly's restaurant, people were like, "This
gonna live that
I'm
down."
not.
I mean, for being hungry.
But people were like, "This is great promo for the new season, though."
Really? Okay. Well,
But she took offense to that.
yeah.
So where are you guys at now? Did you speak offline?
No, I mean, I feel like for whatever reason, Kelly has just always come at me for no reason. We don't really have an issue. I don't have a particular issue except for I just haven't been able to get to know the real Kelly. I feel like Kelly came in hot, looking for a moment, and she came for me. And I just get tired of it. I get tired of the girls feeling like I'm an easy target. And then when I stand up for myself, but in all actuality, I was genuinely going to get some chicken and waffles for my kids. One thing I've always done is ate her chicken and waffles.
Okay.
One thing I'm gonna do is eat. So that was real. But I just didn't know that it was shut down. So I was like, wait a minute. I didn't get the memo.
Right.
And that's a problem, that was a problem. She got very rattled. So I was like, okay.
I guess people are sensitive about their businesses, especially if they're having like issues and going through it. And then I know it was, how the internet is. Then there'd be jokes online. You're pretty good at handling that, but everybody doesn't have that
Well, in this group, you got to be strong, because I have to
amazing
take a
at
lot. Listen,
You took a lot.
she has come for my music career. I mean, she's come for literally
True.
everything of my existence. So I just feel like, if we're going to throw our little shady moments and whatever, you got to be able to take it, especially if you're going to toss it out.
I've seen
Child,
people
let me
talking
tell
about
y'all.
this is going to
Drew is not wrong. Drew not wrong at all. She not wrong at all. I mean, maybe she was messy. Yes, that was very messy of you, Drew. But I'll be honest, like I found out like a week or two before Drew that the place was shut down. And you know how I found out? Because y'all got in the comments. I had a few people to get in the comments and let me know, like, Jami, that place ain't even here no more. Like, it's closed down permanently. I'm like, girl, what? It just opened up in like, what, June, July, something like that? Maybe August? And we're closed down? Like, I think it was it at the end of the year? Or maybe it was in January when you guys let me know. So I didn't even know that. So it had to be in January because this situation with her and Drew just happened in January. So yeah, I just found out at the top of the year as well that the place was shut the hell down. And I really do hate that for Kelly, but also, hey, like she said, if you're going to sit up here and dish it out, you better be ready to sit up there and take it too. So it's a very unfortunate situation, but that's where we are, honey. Next thing I do want us to get into is, because there's a few things I want to talk about, child. You know what? This might be another Housewives video. So I want to go back over here to No Chaser because I feel like it's just so much that's been going on. Okay? Let's hop over here and just see what they got going on this page. First of all, Gizelle was caught she was going somewhere, and someone asked her a question about Dr. Wendy and whether she thinks that Dr. Wendy should take a plea deal. And Gizelle pretty much said, yeah, I think she should go ahead and do that.
Quickly, we gotta ask you.
Yes.
I know Karen said, she didn't take that plea deal, so the fans are like, wait a minute, Wendy, you better take a plea deal if they ask you, girl.
She should.
Is that kind of like a forewarning to Wendy, like, girl, take that plea deal if they're gonna offer it to you?
Yes.
I know we all don't know, and we're all just waiting, but is that like kind of like a telltale sign, like maybe you should take a plea deal if they offer it?
I'm sure she should.
Maybe
Not
less
maybe.
time or no.
For definitely.
For definitely. Well, you look fantastic. So the suit is suiting. Quickly, we gotta.
Child, for definitely. Listen, if Dr. Wendy does not have hardcore evidence to confirm or prove that that the allegations against she and her husband are false, she might have to take that plea deal. She might have to take that plea deal. But like if you didn't do anything and you can prove this in the court of law, push for it. Don't take it. Go to court. Let's hash it all out. Let's put it all out there. Right? But yeah, if not, take that plea deal, but just make sure y'all negotiate a really good one. Negotiate a really, really good plea deal. I hate they found themselves in a situation like this, for real, because I do believe Eddie can lose his license. You all with the law degrees, honey, correct me down, especially y'all up there in that particular state. Let me know your thoughts, okay? And whether he could lose that law degree. I don't think Wendy could lose her doctorate degrees, or I don't think so, but it still would just be a stain on their names. It's really, really sad. I hate that, but that's what's really going on, child. Let me see what else we got over here that I want to tap into real quick. Not a whole lot. I want to talk about Kandi and Todd. So let us just move over here and get into Kandi and Todd. Like I said, these two have been going through a divorce. All right. And Kandi is saying that Todd has been out there in her guest house, staying in the guest house. They're saying Kandi says since they separated, Todd's been living in her guest house in Atlanta, which she says is her own property purchased before the marriage. Now, I know I've seen comments and discourse about this where people were saying, no, they bought that house together when they got married. And I remember not remembering her ever buying anything with Todd, not that house. And so she's confirming here, according to the court documents obtained by TMZ, that is her house. And she purchased that before they even got married. Okay. She says Todd hasn't paid a single expense for the maintenance and upkeep of the home, to include utilities, gas, lawn care, water, pest control, or even fees associated with the alarm. And this is why I don't understand. I don't think I'll ever understand. I just feel like you live in this lady's guest house and your children are there. And I just think that's whack as fuck. I just think it's whack. To be living and occupying this space and not contributing anything. I think the judge should definitely order him to contribute some form of payment to Kandi while this process is going. Because at the bare minimum, Your Honor, you need to make sure he pays me so much a month at that guest house. Okay, that is such a problem to me. They said on top of that, Kandi says Todd hasn't provided any support for the home where their two kids, Ace and Blaze, live. She says she is the traditional caregiver for the kids despite her active professional life as an entertainer and reality star. And she says a hired nanny picks up most of the rest of the slack despite his claims on social media that he's an active father. I thought that they had, a nanny as well. I also thought that Todd went and got his own place. I didn't know he was living in her guest house. I thought he went and got him an apartment that he was staying in. It's just real interesting. And then Todd, you at the guest house, you want custody of the kids because that's what you said in the last documentation that we got into. You want custody of these kids, but you're already living on the property knowing that y'all got a nanny and knowing that her family shows up to help out as well. But you want custody of the kids as you live on her property. You know they're not paying the rent. Come on, Cardi. You know they're not paying the rent. You know they don't make no damn sense. You know that don't make no sense. Not to me. That's crazy. Now, in her filing, Kandi claims their kids have had 2 birthdays since she filed for a divorce in November of 2025. She says Todd attended their separate parties but refused to contribute to the cost. And Kandi is standing up there smiling in pictures. Kandi, let me tell you something, baby. Fuck us. You hear me? Fuck us. Stop trying to save face and show a certain image to the people and make it look as though, oh, we're doing decent. Like, see, it's a decent divorce. We're not battling. And I hate it for you because you wanted these records sealed. And the fact that we're still reading these records leaves me to believe that the judge may have denied that. Right? But, girl, F us. Now, if you're trying to maintain a united front for your children, then I kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? But girl, fuck, girl, hell no. Let's keep going, right? So she says Todd attended their birthdays, didn't contribute anything. She also claims he hasn't helped her out with tuition fees or school supplies and hasn't kicked in for child support. That's so fucked up. Like, what? Kandi admits she's been out of town in New York working on Broadway since November 2025, where she'll remain until March. But she says despite her work commitment, she's been flying back and forth to see the kids. Kandi is asking the judge to order Todd to pay child support and share in the expenses for the kids. Thank you, because that's what he should be doing at a bare minimum. Okay, she's also asking the judge to issue an order laying out the parenting time for each. And I feel like if the judge orders this for Todd to pay her this money and he does not pay that money, when it comes time, if the judge were to award him anything, Kandi could deduct that from what she may owe him because of what he's owed her based on what the judge ordered him to pay. Now, also, I'm hoping that the prenup that they did a while ago stands and that she doesn't have to give him anything. That's what I'm praying for. Like, please, child, please let her come out on top, because this is fucked up to me. And it's sad because I didn't think that Todd was a bad guy at all. And then when you go through a divorce, it appears, seeing these celebrities and stuff go through these divorces, it definitely brings out the worst in people. And it's sad because now people are resurfacing old video footage of people talking slick about Todd and how he was a negative person. I'm just saying negative. It was a lot of stuff that was said about Todd, but now people are like rehashing these old videos, right? But it looks like Todd may have called her out or, responded back to her. And I want to get into that over here on TMZ, where they're saying that Todd filed these court docs, responded to Kandi's claims. And in his documentation, he says he was living in the guest house, but he said it was because Kandi unilaterally removed him from the main home by directing her family members to relocate his stuff without his consent and without court intervention. Okay, so Todd said he did not voluntarily leave the home, but did not fight Kandi about it in order to preserve peace and stability. Todd says, but also I don't think that he didn't fight her about it to maintain the peace and stability. Todd strikes me as a person that gets off on acting like he's unbothered a lot. I feel like he shows up like that on social media as well, but he always try to, I don't care, shoulder shrug. He always try to act like he unbothered, right? So I don't think it was for peace and stability. I think when she made the decision, and maybe that could have been an emotional decision, let's move his stuff to the guest house, he probably was like, okay, yeah, I don't care, and I'm still here. I know you don't want me here, but I'm still here. And no, I'm not going to give you the reaction that you want, type of thing, right? So they go on to say that Todd says Kandi has been in New York working on a Broadway project while he's been in Georgia caring for the kids. She's saying he's not caring for the kids. Kandi slammed Todd, claiming he wasn't paying a dime in rent or any bills connected to the property. She also asserts that he hasn't helped with bills related to the children, right? So in his documents, he alleged before the split, they both added money into a bank account to use for expenses. He claims after the separation, Kandi told him she would stop using the account and would pay all the bills herself. Now, I'm not going to hold you, but some part of me feel I could hear Kandi saying that, right? But also, I could hear her just saying the first half and not saying she'll pay everything by herself. I can hear her saying, I'm not going to continue to put money in this account. I wouldn't either. If we separate, why the fuck I'm going to keep putting, I'm not going to do that. Okay, I could just handle it from the account that I got. But anywho, Todd said, Kandi now attempts to reframe and weaponize this self-created financial arrangement as evidence of financial instability or neglect, while the timing and sequence of events demonstrate otherwise. But see, here's my thing too. If she decided to stop using that account, I think that Todd should have took that as, you know what, that's fine. I'll pay what I pay so that I can keep tabs on the things that I actually contribute. I feel like that's what a man that's on top of his stuff would do and think, in my assumption, which is, okay, so at least I'll be able to collect my own receipts moving forward. Since you're not going to put your money in, I feel like he could have added that part that she was going to do everything by herself now. I don't know. But I mean, it's possible that she said that because she was mad as hell. Now, he says Kandi has been making nasty statements against him in an effort to shift the focus away from her extended and ongoing physical absence from the kids and her reliance on a third-party caregiver. Todd says the judge should give him primary legal and physical custody on a temporary basis until a permanent parenting arrangement is put in place, right? So Kandi filed for divorce back in November. They get into all those details. So that's what Todd wants. He wants to be able to at least have primary custody of the kids, even if it's temporarily. At this point, we're about to go into March in a few weeks. Not sure when her Broadway show will be ending, but it will be in a few months. And with it ending in a few months, not in a few months, but in a few weeks, do the judge really need to give him the primary? And at the end of the day, these are your children. You're living on the property with your kids. Like, just take care of your damn kids. You already know that if anything were to go wrong while Kandi is away, you're going to be the one to make a lot of the hard decisions or whatever the case is. Should they have to go to the hospital or something like that? Like, I don't know, but I just feel like Todd is full of shit. The short answer. And he's just trying to be extremely difficult with her because honestly, I don't think Todd wanted this divorce at all. I think that Kandi did want it. And I think in my personal, I feel like in the relationship towards the end, as things got hard and difficult, Todd started to take this personality struggling of shrugging his shoulders and not giving a damn. Right? Like, to piss her off because he likely knows him acting like that may piss her off even more. And she's like, I bet I got you. I'm finna file for this divorce on your ass. And so he's still operating, well, okay, it's gonna hurt you more than it hurt me because I ain't finna do that. I ain't finna contribute to this and that. You gonna have to pay me money. Woo. I can imagine. I can only imagine. I can only fucking imagine. Okay? I really hate that for Kandi. But hopefully this situation gets resolved before the year is out. I would hate to go through this all the way through to the end of the year. Like, an agreement is going to have to be made at some point, okay? And lastly, before we get out of here, I want to tap into a little piece of Miss Mimi, okay? Miss Mimi, Mimi over here on Married to Medicine, all right? We're going to go to No Chaser TV, and I want us to check out what she had to say on virtual reality as she discusses Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone's situation. Okay, let's get into it.
Or am I interpreting, you said like Toya thrives when people are in conflict?
Yes.
And did you know that for a while? And you seem to now be in the conflict with Toya.
Well, I think the game, I recognize the game, okay? This is what she does. And she will insert herself in other people's issues and like to kind of, I guess, get her rocks off. I don't know. In terms of like seeing people in conflict. And I'm just like, this is your good friend, Simone. I know you don't too much care for Heavenly, but don't you want to see some type of result or you like dysfunction?
This is what irritates me with Dr. Mimi is it's not even just the fact that she's new here, right? Because she's been around at least a year or so to see the dynamic of these ladies, right? And she has the mindset of a lot of fans that like to prop up Dr. Heavenly and then SHI on Toya. So I don't know if it's because Dr. Heavenly has the doctorate, whereas Toya doesn't, and therefore y'all like to treat other cast members similar to how some of these doctors treat the cast members, unless you quad. Right? I don't know what that issue is, but everything she just said in this moment can very well be applied to Dr. Heavenly when people are also trying to make amends, and how she would insert herself as well. Like, it's like she has a hard on for Toya. She do not. I don't know what Toya has done to this woman. I don't know what. So, and I would just say maybe it's because they haven't had the opportunity, or I'm not going to say had, because the opportunity has been there, but they have not been intentional about getting to know each other a bit deeper. And maybe Dr. Mimi has gotten to know Heavenly outside of the show. And maybe that's why she's more so on a team Heavenly front versus just looking at the situation like they do the same shit. They do the same, like Toya and Heavenly, they not too different. That's why I love Toya, because the same SHI that Heavenly's gonna come to the show with or come at Toya or anybody, Toya gonna meet Heavenly with that same stuff. They really can't stand each other because they do the same shit. Okay? But it's I don't understand. But Toya, you see what's going on. You did kind of shade Mimi, at during your interview with Carlos. But girl, you better be ready for this reunion, because I don't know what's going on with this one. And then the way she approached Brandy, be mindful or be careful with who you align yourself with. Do you hear yourself, ma'am? Ain't nobody come to you as a first new person on the show telling you, Mimi, to be mindful of who you align yourself with. They allowed you free reign. You'll learn people for yourself. Allow Brandy the same opportunity. If she's friends with Toya now and they get into it next year, it is what it is. At least I would respect it more in my personal, if it's a decision that Brandy came to on her own based on their dynamic versus a group think of this person told me not to be around you, so I'm going to be a follower and not be around you because of what they said. Like, girl, what?
Yeah, are you able to function in the chaos? This is what you're used to. I don't know.
What do you think her intention is by meddling so much?
I don't think she likes Heavenly.
I don't think she likes Toya.
She just wants to make life so hard.
I think that Heavenly perhaps has hurt her in a way that she has not healed from. And so now if Heavenly is beefing with my good friend Simone, then that makes me feel comfortable, because if Simone and Heavenly get together, where am I going to go?
She's going to still stand there like she been standing. There's been times where Toya has beefed with every single person on this couch that you just got to. And Toya been able to hold it down and stand on her own. I know they probably thought Toya wasn't going to last as a doctor's wife because she wasn't as prestigious or up there on their level. Okay? And here she is still over there standing. Like, I'm so confused, love. I'm so confused.
I'm going to be by myself.
In your professional opinion, how can she best heal from her issues with...
Stop getting in other people's business.
Okay.
Stop talking about, other people's dating life, sex life. Like, just mind your own business.
Well, then you would need to do the same thing, Mimi, as you and your husband were questioning things of Eugene and Toya at their home, because you guys are just so ready to counsel. So ready to counsel and be mentors to these other married couples that's likely been married longer than y'all. All right. So ready to be a quote unquote therapist to somebody else. Like y'all got them all. And when people do stuff like that, it's just like, what y'all got going on? See, now the energy you're putting into Toya, not liking Toya, mind your own business, and you do this very thing where you project, girl, yourself, you're going to make people start diving more into what you and Steve got going on outside of your children. Because we see the play. I enjoy you all's family life. Like, I want to see how is that navigating with your children and stuff, especially, with your son and stuff. So I do like that we get that part of Dr. Mimi, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, what else you move them kids to step aside for one quick second, baby. What's going on up in here then? What y'all got going on? Because when the ladies get ready to dive into it and Dr. Heavenly is on that fence where she agreeing with the very person you don't like, Toya or something, you're going to be sick. You're going to be sick, girl.
You got a lot of stuff going on in your home. Mind it.
Or am I interpreting, you said like Toya thrives when people...
Child, listen, but that's y'all doctor, and I'm going to let y'all stick beside her, honey. But anywho, that's all that I have at this time. Of course, I am JamiThatsMe. Like up the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my my notification, them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Aegis. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up,